Hey guys, we are here in my modded Minecraft world. I've been playing this quite a lot lately and having a huge amount of fun with it, so I wanted to give a tour and talk about it a little bit. So originally this was a Feed the Beast world, but I actually ended up copying it over from Feed the Beast to a custom multi-MC installation where I just managed the mods myself, just because there was some stuff I wanted to update and change that wasn't too easy to do within Feed the Beast. So this is sort of Feed the Beast. But yeah, I wanted to just share a world tour and some of the stuff I've been doing, and also provide some information about that's noisy, I won't go in there yet. Provide some information that I wished that I had while I was learning this, because I've been following the people on the Minecraft server, and they're actually just going through a map reset right now. There was a new Feed the Beast pack released specifically for them, so everyone's having to start over with that. But I've been having a lot of fun just watching them learn their way around these mods and sort of following along and doing it myself. So there's kind of a lack of information about a lot of this stuff. Most of the mods have wikis for them that are pretty decent, but aren't really entirely complete. For a lot of it, I was just left guessing and had to figure stuff out by trial and error. So let's first just walk through some of the stuff. This is my stupid, dinky little starter home that I built just to survive my first night, and I've just kind of expanded it casually, dug a basement, and it's functional. It's this one tiny room up here and little basement down here. This big noisy thing is a rock crusher, which is something you get from Railcraft. I'm using it because it has a very small chance of getting diamonds from... It's noisy, I'm going to turn it off. Let's see, how do I turn it off? I have a switch here for it. Is it this one? Yeah, that turns it off. Okay. So there's a very small chance of getting diamonds from crushing gravel. But I've been running this the entire time I've had this world and gotten, I think, 8 diamonds from it total, and it cost 12 to build, so it hasn't actually paid for itself yet. Yeah, let's see. I'm a little bit disorganized here, but I got my various chests of stuff here. Those are lots of ores and things in here. You need so many resources for to do stuff in this game. Like, these are all my industrial craft machines. I have solar power coming in here. These things are pretty overpowered. I'm thinking it might be more fun when I start a new world, because this is my learning world. Once things stabilize a little bit more, I'd like to be on Minecraft 1.4.6. That was one of the reasons this isn't Feed the Beast, because I was stuck on 1.4.2. I'm on 1.4.5 right now. Oh my! What was that? That was interesting. Something just exploded. Okay, there's a lot of things that can cause things to explode. It wasn't down here. If one of these conductive pipes carries too much energy, they can explode. I'm not sure what that was, though. We're gonna investigate. Those are off, so it's not... Oh, wait! It was that. Oh! Okay. Sorry, that's a little bit of a distraction. Okay, I had this machine running, and this was getting powered, but it wasn't actually doing any work, so power just built up in the pipe that was here, and it blew up. So, yeah. Fortunately, pipe explosions don't actually do any block damage. Even the flower that was right next to it survived, so... Okay. Just had a machine running that shouldn't have been running. So, give me a moment to gather my thoughts, and we'll start taking a closer look at some of this stuff. Okay, so let's start with a quick overview of the mods that I have installed, and a little bit about what they do. My nose just made a weird noise. I don't know if you heard that. And yeah, then we'll go in depth and into some of them. So Industrial Craft 2 is, I think I just mentioned that. That's right. That explosion distracted me a moment ago. Gives you these machines. So we have the recycler, extractor, macerator, compressor, induction. Oh, hey, there's stuff in there. Why isn't that full? Oh, I know why that's not full. Yeah, so, yeah, these just sort of upgrade your some of your basic machines, like a furnace. I have an iron furnace here. This smelts 10 items per piece of coal instead of 8, for example. But the electric furnace just runs off of EU, I guess it's energy units, which are generated from these solar panels. So that's real brief. Industrial Craft does some more stuff, but that's a quick, brief overview of some of the stuff it does. Buildcraft is a little bit different. Instead of EU, it uses MJ, which is Minecraft Joules. Let's see, what sort of stuff does Buildcraft do? It gives you these pipes, which let you send items and liquids through them, sort them, move them around, all sorts of stuff, so you can pull things out of chests and, yeah, do fun stuff like that. There's also Forestry, which sort of bridges between Buildcraft and Industrial Craft, and gives you a few other nice things, like a bunch of different automated farms. So this right here is an automated wheat farm. We have a farm here, which takes seeds and dirt and maintains this ring of farmland here. And this is a, boy, what do they call it? That's a combine, which actually harvests it. They're both getting powered off the same electrical engine. And it puts its output into these chests. So it's not this, the way I have this set up isn't maintenance free. I have to come in here, pull seeds out of a chest and put them back in here occasionally. But you could set that up to be fully automated. There's a few ways to do that. It has very similarly working tree farm, which is currently disabled because I have quite a lot of logs. I mean, I have several of these fancy, iron chests is another mod. This is a gold chest, which is as small as a regular wooden chest, but has a much larger capacity. So increasingly precious materials give you larger and larger chests. But yeah, this is just shut off because I have plenty of trees. I can start it back up again if I want them if I run out of my supply of wood and need more. Cactus farm, same principle. Sugarcane farm, same principle. Those two don't actually require a separate machine to plant the things because they just harvest the grown ones and let them regrow. So I just set those up myself. Peat bog here. This is a source of fuel. So you put in bog earth, which is crafted with water, sand, and dirt. And it gives you this peat, which can be burned in peat engines and powers them. So I'm using that as my source of fuel for quite a lot of stuff. Now, the funny thing about bog earth, I'm going to go to sleep because it's nighttime. Funny thing about bog earth is that it's really annoying to craft because you can only do one water bucket at a time. You can also use water cells, which are crafted with tin, but that wastes the cell. You don't get it back after you craft the thing. So what I have over here is a bog earth machine. This thing was a lot of fun to build. I guess I'm got distracted. I was doing an overview of mods. Now I'm kind of going in depth in forestry, but let's just keep going. So this machine, I have a pump here, which pumps water out of this pool. It sort of chooses source blocks randomly. That's why I have it this large. It can kind of break the pool. Like if it happens to pull a bunch of source blocks in the same side. I've seen that happen a couple of times. It pumps the water out into this liquid transposer, which fills up. Actually, here, let's run it. I'll explain it while it's running. There's a little bit of room there. I'll just empty that out so it runs well. Just no, it's not just that one lever. I have to turn on both of those to get it running. So, right. The pump is powered by this peat engine, which is fueled by the peat that's output by the peat bog that's powered by the bog earth that this thing generates. So it's sort of circular like that. So that powers the pump. This pumps water out of that pool into this liquid transposer, which takes empty buckets and fills them with water and places them into this chest. It sort of happens so fast you can hardly even see it. So empty bucket went in, water bucket went in there, then it got sucked out by this pipe, which I'll explain how that works in a little bit. Goes to this diamond pipe, which sorts things out. Full buckets go to blue, empty buckets go to red. So full buckets go to blue, which leads into this chest. And this is on top of an automatic crafting table. No, it is auto crafting table. Which uses, what it does is when I pump an item out of it, which is done in the same manner as I get the items out of this chest, it crafts it. Oops, looking the wrong thing. It'll make 6 bog earth from these materials. And what it'll do is these stay in the table. So it uses the water bucket from this chest and empties... Uh-oh. Did that just pull a full water bucket out of there? No, I think it just did it so fast I couldn't even see it. So it empties the bucket. Yeah, it's happening really fast. I could just barely see what it was doing. But it empties the bucket and then pumps the empty one back out. So I had to time that. So this pumps the item out of the crafting table first. Then this takes the empty bucket out of that chest, sends it back to the liquid transposer, where the cycle continues. And to keep it supplied with dirt and sand, I just have some separate pipes running from these chests, which I fill up manually. 1 sand chest, 1 dirt chest. And I had to have 4 of these things that pump the items out to keep up, because it's 4 dirt and 4 sand per 1 bucket of water. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. So one way to pull items out of a chest is you use these wooden transport pipes, and you can put a redstone engine next to them. But those things are a little bit hard to control. They start out slow, then speed up as they warm up, and I had a lot of trouble timing them to go 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. It had to be, it couldn't be together. I had to do this one first, then this one second. And with redstone engines, it was just about impossible to time that. So what I'm actually using for that is these things. They're called autarkic gates. I think that's how you pronounce it. They're sort of an advanced build craft item that you have to go up the tech tree a good bit to make them. But they work sort of like redstone engines. You can stick them on here, power them with redstone, and say, when you get a redstone signal, energy pulsar is what they call it for some reason, and that pulls an item out of a chest at a known interval, and doesn't have the problem of timing I had with redstone engines. It just goes at a constant interval. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was the one thing that I learned. Redstone engines are not the only way to pull things out of chests. You can also use these autarkic gates. Those are made with... Oh, you'll notice I'm running really fast. This is another thing from Industrial Craft. I have these quantum suit leggings, which let me sprint super quickly. They're actually running out of power. Well, halfway down. Go ahead and recharge them. Those things are really nice. I've made the rest of a quantum suit, but I don't really use it because the other items aren't as useful. This one I think is just for protection. This one lets me jump really high, but I also have a jetpack. Whee! Which just lets me fly. So that's a more efficient way of getting up and down. So let's charge up our jetpack too while we're here. And these boots are from Thaumcraft, which is not in the Feed the Beast packet I was originally using. They do a few nice things. They let you jump a little higher, which doesn't really matter because I have I don't have the jetpack now, but that's the normal height of a jump. Run a little faster, which the quantum suit leggings let you run much faster. But the reason I wear them is because I can walk up 1 block steps as if it's a slab. And I can actually sprint at full speed up this. So that is really nice for getting around. I don't have to jump all the time. And yeah, those are quite lovely. Yeah, those come from Thaumcraft. I'll talk about that in a bit. But we're still on the... yeah, we're done with the bog earth machine. So yeah, actually let's turn it off because this would overflow. It's almost full again already. Yeah, put this in here. Extra goes in here. Yeah, so this is my rubber tree farm. I'm not using it too much because I have enough rubber for a while, but yeah, just grew trees diagonally across from each other, and I can tap them from either side, cut them down to the same size, and regrew them if they were too short, cut them down if they were too tall, just because I wanted it to be uniform. So that works. Yeah, right, we were talking about Buildcraft. So to make gates, you have to use an assembly table, which is powered by a laser. This is the thing that I was powering that exploded the pipe here. Uh-oh. Why is that red? Ah, that was still on. Ooh. Yep. Anyway, I forgot that was on a separate lever than those. So this takes a lot of power. I have 2 peat engines and a combustion engine powering it. This one's a little hard to manage. It burns oil and requires water, which I'm doing in the form of ice here because it's stackable. This hopper keeps it fed with ice. If it runs out of ice, it overheats and I think explodes. I haven't actually seen that happen, and I don't intend to. So yeah, that's an advanced Buildcraft item. I forget. Okay, so we also have not enough items. This is super handy. So if we want to see how to make an assembly table. Okay, obsidian, diamond gear, redstone. Okay, diamond gear is made like that. Gears just go up like that. Yep. So yeah, it takes a couple of diamonds to make it. You also need this laser, which is made how? Only made 1, so I don't remember very well. Okay, 2 more diamonds, redstone, obsidian. So you're going to need a bunch of obsidian for various things. And this next machine I want to show here is an obsidian factory. Actually, you know what? Let's back off for a bit. We'll talk about that in a bit. Let's finish our overview of mods first. So we went over industrial craft, buildcraft, forestry. I also have the portal gun mod, which just does... Actually, I don't know what all it does. I've only played with the portal gun itself and only really done a couple of things with it. But the reason I like this, in addition to just being able to portal around all over the place, is a very well done mod. I like that it actually draws the view from the portal like that. So that's handy and all, but the real reason I want it, I have other ways of getting around, is to move spawners. Because, oops, actually let's do it this way. Yeah, I think I have a spider spawner stashed away out here. So whenever I find a spawner, I can just bring out my portal gun and grab it and bring it back to my home. And I don't even have to do that, because what I can actually do is just leave a portal at home, go exploring out in the wilderness anywhere, put a return the other colored portal there, grab a spawner and jump through, and it comes with you. So it's a little bit overpowered, very overpowered, because it doesn't actually, it's kind of cheap to make, doesn't actually consume any power when you use it. So yeah, that's game balance in this is way off, but it's still fun, sort of a different kind of fun than the normal game. Normal Minecraft is very well balanced. This is not. So there's lots of broken stuff. Yeah, things are way overpowered. And yeah, you just get a very different experience. Let's see. So that's the portal gun. We also have Mistcraft, which came with... I'm sort of... The mod selection I'm using here is sort of a mixture of the Feed the Beast beta pack and the Magic World pack that they released later. I'm expecting to add a few more as time goes on. I'll probably get Red Power 2 in at some point. That just came out like today or yesterday for Feed the Beast. And yeah, I don't know much about it. Actually, I know almost nothing about it, so I'll probably go through the same learning process with it as I have with all the rest of this. But yeah, one mod at a time, so learning these as they go. Yeah, Mistcraft, that's what we were talking about. So Mistcraft gives you a lot of cool stuff. Best way to demonstrate is going to be these linking books. it's another one of these things that's really poorly balanced, honestly. You can make a linking book anywhere just by taking a book and putting in the crafting grid. So I now have a linking book, which will take me to this spot from any other dimension. So if I go to the Nether, I can't use it. Oops, can't use it right here. If I go to the Nether, I can. Well, here, let's do it now. So I'm in the Nether. I want to go back to the overworld. I can just do this, and I'm there. This is the spot where I created the book, and you can do that an unlimited number of times. The book doesn't actually come with you. It sort of falls out of your hand when you do that, so you have to come back here to get it. However, there's an easy way around those things. I have another book here, which is modified, and this one Oh, that's not the book I wanted. Talk about the Twilight Forest in a little bit. Where's my home? Things aren't loading. Nope, not that way. Oh, look at those villagers. I have breeding off, right? Yeah, bred a bunch of villagers for trading. Apparently I have a few too many in there. Right, I wanted a different book. So this one's, you'll notice this one's a little bit shinier than the other one. So I think this one's actually just linked to the house, so I'll move a few blocks. Yep. And I do it like that. So you can use this block you craft called a link modifier. And just stick a book in here. I think this UI is unfinished. These aren't labeled, but I want intralinking, which lets me use this in the same dimension instead of having to be the Nether or the End or some other place. And there are other places in this with these mods. And following, which means the book comes with you. You can also name it here. And yeah, now I can use it in this dimension, and it'll come with me. So that's one aspect of Mistcraft. The other aspect, what are we looking at? Is, yeah, let's see. This, you can write a descriptive book, which is just a book and a feather, I think. Is that right? Yeah, descriptive book. So that basically gives you a way to create your own world dimensions. Seemingly an unlimited number of them. So I have one here that they're written with these symbols. If you start, if you just create one and use it immediately, you'll get a random set of symbols, and you can sort of kind of see what sort of things they do. So let's go there. It looks kind of weird. It's all colorful, and I have Hunger 4 on me. There's a lot to these things. These dimensions are called ages. This is an age which was created. I wrote this book. You have to just sort of start out with random ones until you learn the symbols you can use to write them. I am getting hungry very quickly from this. But anyway, this is a whole dimension. I can explore in it, do whatever I want, mine ores, things like that. And yeah, you can imagine the possibilities with that, but I'm just going to leave this. Uh-oh. Thank goodness I had that with me, because, wow, I wasn't thinking very much there. The one thing about Mistcraft is if you get trapped in an age, there's really no way back. Like, you have to bring a linking book with you that takes you back to your own age. And yeah, if I didn't have one of those books with me, I would have had to either cheat or... there are some natural formations in Mistcraft ages you can find that will take you back home, but I probably would have just had to cheat and teleport back here, because I have cheats on in this world. It's just for learning. Anyway, yeah, so that's one fun... Yeah, I'll just leave it. One fun aspect of Mistcraft. I do want to put this one back. What else? Okay, there's Thaumcraft, which came with the Magic World pack. That's what these weird-looking items here are for. Oh boy, where to even begin with Thumbcraft? So this was one that was a huge pain to figure out because I just could not find any information at all about it. I had a lot of trial and error. So one of the things I learned was that if you install the mod on a world that already has that has already been generated, it won't really work properly. Because let's see, I'll take you through what I did to learn. So with the little bit of information that was available to me, I found, okay, I have to make a wand. None of these have recipes. Okay, I guess I'll figure that out later, so we have to make this one. So you find these shards in new ores that are generated by the mod. So I went to New Chunks, found one of those ores, mined it, and crafted a wand. Let's just pretend I did. I have one here. So the problem was when I crafted it, it didn't hold any of this unit of energy they have, vis. So it was at 0. So I couldn't use it for anything. What I was trying to do with it, so one of the first things you want to do is build a crucible, which just involves using a wand on a cauldron to turn it into this thing, which you use for various thaumaturgical means. Get a water bucket. There we go. So the problem I had was just that I couldn't find any information on how to get this into the wand, and it wasn't charging on its own or anything. So eventually I figured out that I had to change some configurations in the mod config to get it to regenerate aura nodes, as they're called. And once those are in, the wand recharges on its own. So this crucible, this is how I do transmutations between different items. Like, let's say I want to turn. How do I do this? I'm going to make some iron. I'm going to turn lead into iron. So in order to do that, I can break these down into nuggets. Wait, is this right? Yes. I have to be careful how many I do at once. Oh, and I have the wrong wand. I have a better wand in here that I need to use for this. This is a wand of the Adept. Yep, 250 vis instead of only 50. So I put water in here. It's boiling. Ouch. It's hot. So I can throw things into it. And it fills up. And if I right-click on it with a wand, you see that used most of the vis that was in the wand. That's why I'm careful about the number, because if I put too many things in there, I'm just not going to be able to transmute it, or whatever you call it. Yeah, so we got 32... Nope. Got as many iron nuggets out of that as lead nuggets we threw in. So that's actually a lossless transmutation. Not all of them are. But yeah, lead is added by Railcraft, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I don't have much use for it. Iron's much more useful to me, so I can just turn lead into iron and use it, rather than just have it sit in my chest and do nothing useful. So, there's a lot more to Thumbcraft. Like I said, these boots. So there's a whole system. This research table down here is something you need to build. You can put items in it. Let's see, can I even do this right now? So if I put that in there, this consists of one metallum. Each item has different essentia, they're called. So this charcoal's actually a pretty good one. Has 2 ignis, 2 potentia. I forget what that means. It's either 2 or 4. 4 because of something around that buffs it or something like that. 1 lignum. So if I click this button, I've pretty much completed all the research I have available to me as far as I know. So I won't be able to do anything with that. But that's how you learn new things. With this book, the Thaumonomicon, it's sort of like your Thumbcraft achievements. Records all the stuff you've learned. You start with these basic ones, and let's see. Does this thing have a crafting recipe? It does not. Oh yes, I remember how to get this. You have to... Oh boy, how does this work? You use your wand on a bookshelf, and that gives you an empty Thaumonomicon. Well, I guess it's just tied to the research you've already done, so those two are identical. It also consumes the bookshelf, so I'm going to have to replace that. Oh, yeah, I didn't finish telling about at the beginning when I didn't have any aura nodes around, so my wands weren't recharging. What I ended up doing was I figured out that I could put them in an anvil and repair them, so I crafted a whole bunch of them, repaired them together to get enough charge just to do something. Yeah, that was a mess. So once I figured out that I had to regenerate certain parts of the world to get it to work, that everything made sense a little better. And yeah, that was one crucial thing. The research table was another crucial thing. And yeah, from there I was able to figure out the rest of the mod. So let's see, what else? Give me a moment. Alright, so there's another mod in here called Thermal Expansion, which I didn't really understand for a while, but it adds a bunch of new machines that work a lot like Buildcraft machines and just do more things. I think the Liquid Transposer is one of the... why are you not full? Oh, I know why. One of the Thermal Expansion machines. Yeah, so this uses Thermal Expansion quite a bit. So this... Nope, have to cover a couple more mods before I can talk about this. This is quite a machine. It's pretty cool. Let's talk about Computercraft. So, Computercraft's really cool. I didn't understand what it was really about until I saw Good using it in some of his videos. So, this gives you a Unix-like command prompt here. And what you can do is you can write Lua scripts that do various things. So I have 3 in here. I'll be showing off Obsidian 3 in a moment. Actually, I can show these 2 first. What you actually do with those is you run them with these little things called turtles. I think, yeah, I can. I can't do a very good demonstration of this. Maybe I can. Okay, this'll have to do. So one of the things I do is when I go mining, my inventory's kind of clogged. When I go mining, I use Silk Touch to be able to carry more ores back with me. And once I get back home, those Silk Touched ores need to be broken down with a fortune pick so that I can actually get the stuff out of them when I want to harvest it. So I wrote a Computercraft program to assist me with that, because it's kind of annoying to place all those blocks before you break them. I mean, I only have 3 here with me, but let me just demonstrate how this generally works. Pretend there's a whole bunch in here. So if I run this, oops, I did it wrong. Okay, let's try that again. Might as well mine this. I'm actually without a Silk Touch pick at the moment. It was a casualty of the Twilight Forest, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Don't have any coal ore. Oh, here we go. Redstone ore. Okay. So we'll take a whole stack of redstone ore, find a nice flat spot. This'll do okay. And what I'm going to do is I put this in his inventory. Give him a couple of more. Let's do this properly this time. Deploy ores 8 should work fine. So that's running a Lua script right now. It's telling him how to move and place blocks. And what he's going to do is just make me a nice little thing at eye level that I can use to mine with a fortune pick. And I don't have to place those blocks myself. Nice and easy. Usually I'd just wait till he finishes and go do something else for a while, then come back and mine them. So yeah, that Computercraft turned out to be pretty awesome, because yeah, I'm a programmer. I love this stuff. I've actually never used Lua before, but I can just pretend it's another language. Once you know one programming language, you sort of know all of them. Yeah, so these guys can do various other things. I'll show you 2 more that I have. I'm just kind of doing basic tasks with them, but that's what they're for, automating basic tasks. Seems like he's placing a lot. How many did I give him? Okay, so he's run out of that, then he places those. Okay, oops. So lapis is actually pretty valuable with these mods. Industrial Craft in particular, I think, uses it for a lot of stuff. So you don't want to ignore lapis with this set of mods on. So got a bunch of redstone out of that. That's cool. Yeah, that was a basic demonstration of turtles. Yeah, now that I've talked about that, I can show my obsidian machine here. I just gave away what it does. So the way this thing works is we have this thermal expansion machine called a magma crucible, which, given enough power, provided by these 5 peat engines here, it will turn various blocks. You can use netherrack, or stone, or obsidian, which I don't know why you'd turn obsidian back in, to turn them into lava. Netherrack is the cheapest one. It requires 4,000 MJ to get going. It'll run more efficiently if you fill this up. But anyway, so it turns 1 block of netherrack into 1 bucket of lava, or 1,000 millibuckets, I guess is what that is. So while that's going, so this machine can store 10,000 or 10 buckets worth. There's no real way to pull it out directly, though. I can't just put a... Actually, can I put a bucket in there and get it? I haven't actually tried this. Let's find out. Nope, nope. Bucket doesn't go in there. Does bucket go here? Nope. All right, so you can't directly pull it out of the machine. So I use these waterproof pipes from Buildcraft to get the liquid out. It'll just pump it into that. I don't have to do anything special. They go into these storage tanks, which each hold, I think, 10 buckets. I forget exactly how much. Redstone engines here pump the lava out of the storage tanks into more pipes, which go into a liquid transposer. So this, we already saw one of these at work in the bog earth machine. So what this does is it'll fill a bucket with lava. So that's how you get the lava out of this crazy contraption into buckets. But instead of just pulling lava out ourselves, we have a turtle doing it here. And it can actually also mine the obsidian. It's a little bit cheaty because it can it mines obsidian instantly. So let's run this thing and watch it work. So it's already mined a few things. It's just called Obsidian 3 because it took 3 iterations to get the script to work. Do I have to give this any parameters? Oop, Obsidian. Yes, what do I give it? Number of iterations. Okay, right, yeah. So I tell it the number of obsidian blocks to mine because that machine is finite. It only stores a certain amount of lava that can be processed at a time. So let's just do 32. So dumps lava, dumps water, mines it. So let's see, what it's actually doing is it puts the bucket into the liquid transposer after it's used it. Liquid transposer fills it, puts it up into this chest, so that's full of lava. While the turtle, it's doing that while the turtle is dousing that with water and mining it. Once it's done with that, it goes up, grabs the bucket out, and repeats the process. So that's how I get obsidian. It's very cool. So you just put netherrack in, bring some peat and put it in the peat engines, and let's see, turtles use. They can use charcoal for fuel. Yes, they have some logging in here telling me how many obsidian blocks are left. And yeah, it all just does a lot of the work on its own. So actually, I even have these engines turning on and off by themselves using more of the Buildcraft gates. So these can be configured. How does this work? So if this can store energy, ignore that, that's not doing anything. So if it's able to store energy, then we send a red pipe signal. So we use this thing called pipe wire. It's really hard to see there. There's a lot of red, but one of those red lines is the pipe wire, which sends a signal to this. This is another iron ore gate. Ignore that, that's doing nothing. If the red pipe signal is on, send a redstone signal. And that sends a redstone signal through here to activate all the engines. So this thing just turns itself on and off as needed. I heard that. Where are you? You. That's a wisp. It's a Thaumcraft thing. They're actually pretty nasty little guys. They'll hit you with lightning. Ow. Ah. Only takes 2 hits to kill. Well, with this sword. But yeah, those guys will start showing up after you use your crucible a bit, because that releases flux. Trying to remember my terminology. Every time you use this, it releases flux into the world, which causes various side effects. I've seen wisps. I've been hit by lightning. I think there's a couple of other things that can cause that. Let's see, where was I before it distracted me? Yeah, so this thing turns itself on and off. It turns itself on when this is ready for work, and turns itself off when it's done. The reason I don't have this one just directly sending a redstone signal if it's able to store energy, which I could do, is because if the magma crucible gets a redstone signal, it stops working. A lot of the buildcraft and industrial craft machines work like that, or vice versa. You either apply a redstone signal to turn them on or to turn them off. So this happens to be one that is turned off by redstone. So, oh man, that was quite a process to figure out, because you need an iron ore gate to actually use the pipe wire. I was just trying to use a regular gate to do it, but they can't send any signals along pipe wire. So that was what that was about. And I have these autarkic gates over here. A regular gate cannot... so the first tier is gate, which is crafted on an assembly table from a redstone chipset, which is crafted on an assembly table from a piece of redstone. So pretty simple. But yeah, to use pipe wire, you need one of these, which is... no, that's not the recipe. Red pipe wire and redstone iron chipset, which is similar to the redstone chipset. And pipe wire comes from that. So you need that to use pipe wire. I think, let's see, this can only use red. Gold gates can use 2 colors. Diamond gates can use 4, if that's right. And the autarkic gates have more things they can do. Like the regular gate can only send a redstone signal on something that's going on over on the left. But the autarkic gate can actually pull items out of chests. I think that might be the only difference between the two. I need to play around with them a little bit more, get more familiar with them. So, let's see how this guy did. He's done. All 32 succeeded. He reports, because if this machine runs out of lava at some point, he'll just be unable to do anything and start failing to mine it. So I figured this out. I forget how many. If it's completely full, I think I can mine over a stack, but I forget exactly how much it is. So that just goes into his inventory, and I could pull it out like this. This charcoal is here for him to refuel. I think I've given him a huge amount of... Yeah, that'll last a long time. I think it uses 1 unit of that for each move. Let's do a little bit of scripting. Yeah, 1 unit of fuel per move. Conveniently, they don't actually consume fuel to dig things or to do any other operations. It's only on movement. Let me show you one where I'm taking advantage of that after we take a sleep. So that's my obsidian farm. I'm pretty happy with it. Also have a snow farm here. This snow golem keeps mysteriously dying, and I can't figure out why, so I have to keep rebuilding it. I'm surprised he's alive right now. I have him protected from the rain. That's another thing. It never rains in this world, and I don't understand why. I know it used to. When I was playing Feed the Beast, it certainly did. At some point, it just stopped raining completely. I just never get any rain. I don't know what's going on with that. So, not only does it never rain, I also have this block up here, so that couldn't be killing him. I was suspicious that he was falling through the floor and dying from contact with the water, so I sort of built some blocks down there just to make sure that didn't happen. So, I don't know. But anyway, so we have a turtle here. This turtle never moves at all. because he can do everything from where he's sitting right there. This is a digging turtle. It's really hard to see, but that's a diamond shovel. Other one, the obsidian guy had a diamond pick. So there's a few different types you can make. The one that deployed ores didn't have any tool at all because it didn't need one. So, oh, that's full. Let's pull a few out. So dig snow 4. So he's just going to dig up 4 stacks of snow. Once he has a full stack, stashes in the chest and keeps going. So that's a really simple program. But yeah, saves me some time. I can just set him up to dig that and come back and collect my snow out of the chest. The reason snowballs are useful, I could use an auto crafting table to turn those into snow blocks if I wanted snow blocks. But I actually want snowballs because you can put them in a compressor and get ice out. 1 ice block per snowball, which is pretty good. And the reason I want ice is to cool down this combustion engine, which powers my assembly table. I have to keep looking at the names of things because it's, oh man, so much stuff to remember to keep in your head when you're working with these mods. It's pretty crazy. So, what else to talk about? Minor one is inventory tweaks, which gives you, I don't really use it on my normal inventory, but this is really handy in chests. So if you have a messy chest that just sort of has items all over the place, instead of sorting them manually, you can just click one of these handy buttons here, and it does it for you. So, I worry a little bit about spoiling myself for normal Minecraft when I play this, just because that's one feature that I really love in these mods and use all the time. And yeah, I was playing vanilla Minecraft a little bit earlier and was missing the sorting feature quite a bit. But yeah, what else? So one of the big things I haven't talked about yet much is the Twilight Forest, which is another mod that's pretty self-contained. So, the Twilight Forest adds a new dimension to the game, which I have a portal to it right here. And, oh, bees. Okay, I need to talk about bees too. We'll get to those in a moment. Those are fun. So this portal takes me to the Twilight Forest dimension, which has a bunch of different stuff, some weird looking trees. It's very low. Notice, well, on the, can't point at it. I'm at 36 right now. That's where the ground level is. Well, ground level is 32. But that means ore generation is very similar to the overworld, so you get you can get a lot of valuable ores very easily in here. So it's pretty valuable for that. There's also bosses to fight and various other things to do. It's a fun place. So I'm not going to get into all the stuff that it involves, but yeah, it's another dimension with lots of things to do and easy ways to get valuable ores. So let me check my notes here. Yep. Oh, I hear a wisp. Come here. Come here. Can't see anything. Where is he? You get quite a lot of these things if you do a bunch of transmutation. Some of them are aggressive immediately. This one wasn't. I had to hit him before he started shooting lightning at me. Come on, world. Load. Did he drop anything? Probably. Did I pick it up? There it is. Oh, these quantum leggings. Oh, they're so awesome. You can, so not only can you run really fast on the land, you can do it in the water, too. So, no need for boats. This is way faster. I love these things. And yeah, in combination with the Traveler's Boots, just fantastic. Anyway, let's talk about beekeeping. So this is a big feature of forestry. If you have forestry installed, you'll find these various beehives around the world. I couldn't figure out how to use them at first. You have to use a special tool to break them. Scoop, which is pretty easy to craft, just a piece of wool and 6 sticks. But yeah, use that, scoop out a beehive, and you get, sometimes you get a honeycomb of some sort, and usually you'll get a princess and a drone. So these two types of bees are mated together to make a queen, which works in an apiary to produce various resources. So you can get things like honeycombs, put them in a centrifuge, which is a forestry machine. Power it. And when this completes, I'll get honey drops and I think, beeswax out of that. And you can make various good stuff out of that. But anyway, so I'm mostly just having fun figuring out how beekeeping works, because it's that's what I've been doing all day today, all day yesterday. It's pretty complicated because there's 6 basic types of bees you can get in the world. You get meadows from plains biomes, forest bees from forest biomes, tropical bees from jungles, marshy bees from swamps, wintry bees from taiga and ice plains, and what am I missing? What am I missing? Oh, I know I've forgotten one. Which one is it? Oh, this is going to drive me nuts. Oh, modest bees from deserts. That's right. Get out of here. Those things do a lot of... he killed me! Dang it. Yeah, those things are pretty nasty. That's why I always kill them on sight. Looks like their attacks ignore armor, because that's doing 2 hearts of damage to me, which is the same amount that it did when I was fully armored. Where's my stuff? There it is. All right, let me recollect this and what the? Oh, drops like that. That's weird. All right, let me get this stuff collected back together and gear up again, and we'll resume our talk about bees. There he is. Come on, come on. I want my revenge. Where'd he go? This game is not designed for aerial combat. There we go. Okay. Since I'm standing right next to it, well, I don't need to talk about that. You know how these work. Just a villager breeding cell doing normal villager trading. There's a few new types of villagers. Railcraft has a... I haven't talked about Railcraft yet. Railcraft has a seasonal module. I haven't really figured out what to do with it. You get these stolen presents as mob drops, and you can trade them for green wrapping paper, but I've done that a bunch, and I can't... this is the only trade this guy ever offers. I can't do anything with green wrapping paper. There's no recipe that uses it. I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, I had my sugarcane farm automatically crafting paper that I bring down here and trade with my paper guy. Talk to me. Talk to me. Why won't he talk to me? Well, that's weird. I can open chests, but I can't talk to him. Alright, well, that's probably just a strange glitch. I've seen things like that happen before. Anyway. I want to get a sorting system down there for those guys so I can pull out blacksmiths that have diamond gear and things like that, because the normal tools are still very relevant with this mod pack. There's nothing that replaces Silk Touch or Fortune, so you still need those, or looting either. You can use these, I have some here. You can use a chainsaw to replace your axe. Why am I using an axe? I should use a chainsaw instead. Yeah, chainsaw's better. I can use a mining drill instead of a pick, but it just behaves like a normal efficiency pick. It doesn't, it doesn't Silk Touch or Fortune anything. Okay, right. We were talking about bees before I got distracted by getting killed by that wisp. Is it nighttime? Yeah. There are a few reasons I'm making sure to always sleep at night. Mostly because most of these bees only work during the day, so to get the most uptime on these, some species work. They're nocturnal. They work during the night. But yeah, that's a trait you have to specifically breed into them. So right, the point of these apiaries is to breed your... Ooh, look at that! Okay, I've been working on those. Okay, we got diligent. Right, there are lots. I think 28 different types of bees, and there's 6 you can find in the wild to get started. So you take those 6 types of bees and breed them together to get different types. There's a lot to it, and very little information available about it. Because there's so little information, I'm thinking I might do a tutorial on beekeeping. just in case it's useful to anyone, because I sure could have used one of those, and I could not find one that was both up to date and high quality. So yeah, with the stuff that I've figured out with beekeeping, I'll probably do a separate video going more in depth on it. But yeah, basics are just you find hives in the wild, use a scoop to get the drone and princess out, put a drone and a princess together in an apiary, they'll turn into a queen, which will stay there for a while, and while they work, they'll produce honeycombs and sometimes various other resources. Oh, that centrifuge is running, doesn't have much in it. Yeah. Propolis, however you pronounce that, is one of your most valuable resources, because with propolis you can make so it has a decorative purpose. You can make stained glass with it, and the other use, yeah, centrifuge, that's where I want to put that. The other use for it is a peat engine will normally output 1 MJ per tick, which is sort of the base amount of power. Let's see, combustion engine is a little more powerful. It'll do 3 MJ per tick once it's warmed up. But yeah, you can get twice as much power out of a peat engine if you craft this bituminous peat. Had to look that word up. Didn't know how to pronounce it. With propolis is part of the recipe for this. So you need propolis and ash. Ash is gotten from, you can get it from bees occasionally, but mostly you'd get it from your peat engines, because as they burn peat, they produce ash. I think it's 1 ash per peat. I might be wrong about that. Yeah, it just goes here. So you recombine that with normal peat and propolis to get bituminous peat, which doubles their energy output. So that's why I want that stuff. But yeah, each different species of bee produces different resources, so it's pretty complicated to figure out which ones you need, how to breed them up to do what you want to do, and manage. This is an automated, very small automated bee farm. I just have tropical, purebred tropical bees, which produce silky propolis, which you can put in the centrifuge to get regular propolis. They produce silky combs, which you centrifuge to get silky propolis, which you centrifuge to get regular propolis, and also silk wisps. The silk wisps, where are they? There's some. You can use a carpenter, which is another, is that a buildcraft or a forestry machine? I think it's a forestry machine. I'm not sure about that one. It's one or the other. To make this woven silk, which lets you make beekeeping gear. Some of the bees are kind of nasty. They'll sting you as you go by, which will either cause you damage or give you poison. I think some will even set you on fire, which is pretty cool. I haven't seen those yet. But the other valuable thing you can do with it is combine it with this miner's backpack to increase the number of slots. The miner's backpack is an item you can just keep in your inventory that basically expands it for specific items. So I have one here. Oh yeah, I made a woven one. That's cool. So I have 45 extra slots of storage for ores. So if I go mining with this thing in my inventory, hello? Did I just duplicate that? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, you cannot be serious. Did I really just duplicate that? 1 second. Okay, one of them disappeared. Had to relog just to be sure. There are some item duplication bugs in these mods. I was curious if I'd stumbled into one. But yeah, that was just a client-side bug. That was, I say client-side, separate server process. Anyway, I'm babbling. Yeah, so this any ore that I pick up that will go in here, which is pretty much all of the ores. I think you can store, yeah, obsidian goes into it, but like wood doesn't. Can't put that there. Will go into it. So I get more than another entire inventory's worth of storage space for ore. I did it again. Of ores. And that didn't duplicate it that time. Weird. Anyway, so yeah, that's the value of the silk wisps, which you get only from tropical bees, which come from jungle biomes. They're a little hard to deal with. If I get too close to these guys, I think they'll poison me. Yep, sure will. Well, that's a long time, too. It's like 40 seconds. Yeah. And, oh yeah, I have this pumpkin farm here that I use to get pumpkin seeds. It's mostly full. Seeds go into a squeezer. I have 2 of them right here. Ooh. They're empty. Let's refill those right now. Oh, this poison. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. I think that's too many. Anyway, so make these into seeds. So squeezer is another forestry machine, which in this case is producing for me seed oil, which is a different liquid that is used in crafting some advanced beekeeping stuff. So I just like to have these running full time. Pumpkin farm was one of the most efficient ways to farm any sort of seed works in it. So yeah, that was how I. Hello? That's an animation bug. Those are running. Okay, well, they should be animating, but they're not. There we go. Those are running. They look like they're not. Anyway, yeah, I don't think there's too much. Oh yeah, bees require different climates sometimes. That's some of what the seed oil is for. There's an advanced item you can craft to adjust the temperature and humidity of your where you're keeping your bees, so that picky ones that want to be in a desert or in a snowy place can be made warmer or colder, things like that. But anyway, right now I just have these Mistcraft books that are linking to all sorts of places around my world. So, like, I have my nether bees up on top of the nether. You know how I love the top of the nether. Yeah, these books, seriously, they're way overpowered because I can just get around to any place I've put a book. This one's in the end. Haven't gotten anything interesting out of there. Bees bred in the nether do some interesting stuff. But yeah, so let's see what else to cover. Let me check my notes. I know I've been recording for a long time, but there's lots to talk about. These mods are really cool. So 1 second. Okay, so there's a few mods I haven't really talked about. There were some mods in the Feed the Beast beta pack that I have disabled because I did not like what they did. Those are GregTech, factorization, and the modular force field system, I believe it's called. All of those added new ores to the world and new recipes and... Oh, lightning. I think that's a side effect for my Crucible because clear blue sky. Anyway, right, so those 3 mods that I disabled. GregTech, it's very divisive, I've found. Some people like it, lots of people really hate it, it seems, because what GregTech does is it basically makes the tech tree for industrial craft, and I think it's mostly for industrial craft. I don't know what all it does, but it disables a bunch of recipes, makes things way harder to get, gives you some new ores that are hard to manage, and yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I don't like it. Makes the game harder, which I normally would like, but it does it in a terrible way. That's just no fun at all. Hopefully no one who really likes GregTech is watching this, because I'm bad-mouthing it a lot. Anyway, factorization, I think, sort of goes along with GregTech. I tried to... It looked like it did some cool stuff, but it just did not work for me. I couldn't get it to work. Modular force field system is sort of a similar deal. Actually, it didn't look too interesting for me. It added a new ore that I just didn't want to deal with, so I disabled it too. It didn't look like anything that I wanted, but I should probably get to know it at some point. So I haven't really talked about Railcraft. I don't know it very well. I haven't played with it too much, but one of the things I noticed, it's a little bit like GregTech in that it disables normal crafting recipes for rails. So to make these, well, that's not a powered rail. That's a booster track. That's not a... What do they even call it? I can't remember its name, but it's something that's different from track. So I'm dealing with. I might disable it for my when I restart this world. I haven't decided yet. I want to play with it a little bit more and get to know things it can do to see whether it's worth keeping it or not. But yeah, it changes the recipes for the normal minecart tracks that we're used to. Oh, one nice thing that it does that I like a lot is it makes minecarts stack. That I would like to keep. But yeah, so you can't just craft these the way you normally would. Would. Does that handle wood? Recipe just doesn't work. So in order to make these things, it's actually pretty complicated. To get started, you need a coke oven. Because, okay, this thing can burn coal or wood. Coal produces coal coke, which is it's just a higher energy density. It burns for longer. And or charcoal from wood is what you get, and also creosote oil. So the creosote oil is essential in crafting components of rails. So you have to build a coke oven, which is this is actually pretty hard to figure out. Cake. It's not cake. It's coke. Which there is no coke oven item. So how does that work? Well, you need these coke oven bricks, which are made like that. You make a bunch of them and put them in a 3x3x3 structure with a hole in the middle. I think this has a hole in the, I don't want to mine in there because it'll break it. Ooh, yeah, don't want to lose that. That's pretty valuable. This thing is very, very, very slow. Like you can see, it's not even moving there. It's a little faster if you use coal instead of wood, but coal is valuable for other things. Actually, yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. So I just have it... it's not really smelting wood. It's sort of smelting wood. It works without any extra power. So you just stick wood in here, wait a long time, and you get charcoal out. What was that noise? Did I just hear something weird? Weird noises all over this world. I don't know, man, sometimes. But anyway, you need this oil, which you can pull out with... I can pull it out with a bucket, but those don't stack. You can also pull it out with... what are they? Cans? Tin cans? Not this kind of tin can, but not a cell. It's... I don't actually have any in here. But anyway, that's one creosote can. So you use that to craft these wooden ties from slabs. Lots of different types of woods here. The heck is all this? I haven't encountered most of these types of wood. I don't know where I would go to find them. They come from, going off on a tangent here, they come from Extra Biomes XL, which I actually don't like too much. This is a redwood tree, for example. The problem with those is that they add a bunch of new wood types that all the other mods don't really acknowledge as crafting components. So you end up with a bunch of wood you can't use for much of anything. So, and the other problem with Extra Biomes XL is that it, since it adds so many different biomes, when you just want to find a normal biome that is in the game already, they're much rarer because all these new biomes are all over the place. So that's actually another one I'm going to mostly disable. I've disabled generation of almost all of the extra biomes. I just left like 2 of them that I particularly liked still there. Yeah, I can see a redwood forest back there. So it's good for getting a lot of wood very fast, but only if you want to do basic crafting or make it into charcoal. They grow a little taller than jungle trees and drop a lot more saplings, is why they're better for that. Anyway, woo, how many tangents did I just go on? What were we talking about? Railcraft. Right, back to Railcraft. So you craft those wooden ties from creosote oil and slabs. The wooden ties you put together into wooden rail beds. And those you have to combine with standard rails to make the familiar minecart track. Now, where do these standard rails come from? Well, they are made in a rolling machine from iron ingots, or more efficiently from steel ingots. A rolling machine, I'm sure I have one around here somewhere, but yeah, it's kind of like a crafting table, but you have to power it with MJ, and it takes a little while to do its task. What was I doing? Right, so to get steel from iron, you have this other thing similar to the coke oven. It's a blast furnace, which, yeah, same sort of deal. You build, you make blast furnace bricks, put them in a 3x3x4 structure. These are a little harder, require nether materials. Got to get a bunch of magma cream. I had to build a slime farm just for this, because I wasn't going to go hunt down magma cubes. But yeah, this is similar. You can stick, it only accepts 2 types of fuel, either charcoal or coal coke, which are the 2 types that a coke oven can produce. So I want to use my coal. I want to use my coal for other stuff. So I was just using charcoal in the blast furnace, which takes a little longer. But anyway, you just, what am I doing? Wood. You can just stick a, I think it's, what is it? 2 charcoal per piece of iron, something like that. Do that. It takes a long time, and you get a piece of steel out. So these 2 are just, you sort of want to leave them running in the background while you do other stuff, because they take a very long time to do their work. Okay, so that's right. That's where you get the steel ingots. They're not useful for too much outside of railcraft. I also have a lot of lead. I think I mentioned that. That's not useful for much outside of railcraft. Goodness, so much thunder. Same with silver. Silver is a little bit useful in that you can, what do you do with, oops. You can make chests out of it that are, it's a little bit cheaper than using gold, and if I don't have anything else to do with it, then, oh. Now what's this? This is used for steam engines. Magmatic engine. Interesting. Haven't played with those. Anyway, yeah, that's just sort of how it goes. You see an item, you can, I'm using keybinds here. You can either look at the recipe, like how do I make an RE battery? I press R, that's the recipe for it. What can I do with an RE battery? I can make an energy-o-mat, a generator, bat box, generator. Okay, 2 different generator recipes, that's what it is. Just totally lost my train of thought there. Right, so, yeah. Just wanted to talk about Railcraft briefly in that it changes the rail recipe, so you have to do all this complicated stuff to get it back. Yeah, let's see. I feel like there was one other thing I really wanted to cover. 1 second. All right, yeah. So there are a few crucial things that I learned while I was playing with these mods. I made a list of them. I'll just share some of them with you guys in case anyone's watching this and is in the position that I was in and wants to get into these mods but doesn't know anything about them. So, tips and tricks. As far as industrial craft goes, different wires have different capacities. You can see these big, thick guys. These are quadruple insulated high voltage cable because I have a pretty large amount of power. So, when you're starting out with industrial craft, you'll probably make a generator, which is like a furnace, but produces EU when you burn stuff in it. And to store your power, a generator can store a little bit, but you'll want to make a bat box, which should really be called battery box, because I thought, first heard the name, it's like, what, is that powered by bats? I don't know. So it's a box of batteries. And this will output a low voltage, relatively low voltage compared to some of the other stuff. Generator outputs low voltage. I actually have one here. I don't really use it because I'm all solar powered here. So the next upgrade past, right, yeah, so those will provide basic power to your machines. Electric furnace, your macerator, that lets you double your ore output. Recycler's pretty cool. Yeah, well, we don't need to get into that. Where was I going? Right, so that's low voltage. The next step up from a bat box, if you need more energy storage, because they don't hold all that much, is an MFE. Don't actually know what that stands for, but that's what it is. A lot more expensive to... Wow, I didn't realize it was that expensive. So each energy crystal costs a diamond for 8 redstone. It's gold cable, machine block is just refined iron, Oh! Oh, no way! I didn't know you could make these out of steel. I guess that's not that useful because refined iron's easier to make than steel. Anyway, okay, I learned something. Alright, I'm curious about something. 1 second. I gotta try this. So if I take... I think that's where all my steel is. If I take this, and I make a machine block out of it, it gets me refined iron back. Interesting! So that lets me turn steel into refined iron, if I had any reason to do that. Can't go the other way, because machine block just crafts into refined iron. Anyway, that was a little bit of a distraction there. Where was I? Right, so next step up from Batbox is MFE. It holds a lot more energy and outputs quite a bit more voltage. So the thing you need to be aware of is that machines will explode if given too much voltage. I learned this the hard way. I just made myself an MFE and plugged it in. It's like, awesome. Okay, I have something to compress. I'll stick it into the compressor. Boom! Just everything exploded. It gave me quite a shock because I wasn't expecting it at all. It's like, oh, what did I do wrong? Destroyed both the MFE and the newly made Singularity compressor, which is an upgrade to the normal compressor. So, learning from that, you have to transform your voltage. Yeah, I have... this is an LV transformer. You can't see it very well. Looks a lot like a bat box, but transforms from medium voltage to low voltage. Similarly here, this is an MV transformer. Transforms from high to medium voltage. So you have to put those in if you're going to be powering machines with lots of voltage. Or you can also stick these whoa, I don't want to do that. Leave that in there. Transformer upgrades will let a machine accept more voltage. So these aren't too expensive to build. So yeah, if you put one of those in, it'll be fine with an MFE. If you put 2 of them in, it'll be fine with the next step up, which is an MFSU. Much more expensive than MFE. Lapitron crystals, more diamonds, lapis. This is why lapis is valuable, because you can make Lapitron crystals and a few other things with it. So, yeah, so that was one thing I learned the hard way. So, another thing is related to Buildcraft. So, Buildcraft machines are not powered with EU and cables. They're powered with engines. So we have a redstone engine here, Stirling engine, peat engine, biogas engine. I haven't figured out how to use that yet, actually. I need to play with it more. Electrical engine is added by forestry, which lets you translate from EU to MJ. Very handy if you have a lot of EU and need some MJ. But these days I prefer peat engines because I think they can output more power at once if used by bituminous peats. But I'm not entirely sure about that. So one mistake that I made a lot, and I watched the Minecraft guys make a lot, is that, okay, so I built this awesome machine. Let's power it. It's Buildcraft. How do I do this? I need an engine. Okay, I have this redstone engine here. Let's hook it up. I'm going to try to power this carpenter. Get a lever and turn it on. Where's my levers? They're on me. And... oh, it is moving. Okay. I wanted to demonstrate that failing to work, but... well, anyway, it's moving, but this isn't really doing anything. Oh, it's missing resources. Well, okay. This is ruining my demonstration here. But anyway, so what often happens is you hook up an engine to something and it either just won't even connect to it, or you turn it on and it won't move. Not all engines are equal. Some of them output more power than others, so you need, for most Buildcraft machines, you need at least 1 MJ per tick, I think, which is you can get with a Stirling engine. This will just burn whatever and provide 1 MJ per tick, I believe. Or a peat engine works great. That's from forestry. Or you can go to one of the higher tier engines, like the combustion engine, which is powered by oil and is a little hard to manage. There's steam engines. I haven't tried those yet. I don't know how they work. But anyway, sometimes you need a much fancier engine to power something, and a lower tier one just won't even work. So that was another thing I had to learn. Oh, another important thing. So to move industrial craft machines around, you can mine them with a pick. The problem is, more often than not, what'll happen if you do that is you'll just get a machine block back. And a machine block is just, yeah, we looked at that a moment ago. It's 8 refined iron, or apparently steel. And it's sort of the basic building block for most of the machines, but yeah, it'll kind of downgrade them just to basic components if you mine it with a pick. So there's a tool you make. There's a few different types of wrenches in here. That's another confusing thing. You make this wrench. This is an industrial craft wrench. To pick them up with right click, it'll just instantly pop them off. The thing is, that wrench is still lossy. You'll occasionally get a machine block back, even though you use your wrench to do it. So you can make this electric wrench, which normally will have the same problem. It's just powered by EU instead of using the wrench durability. But there's sort of a hidden way you can put it into lossless mode, as it's called. The default Feed the Beast configuration has this a little bit wrong, or at least did in the beta pack. I don't know if they've fixed it since then. Where the M key is used for raise minimap. But you need to use it to put this into lossless mode. So I just rebound mine to the N key. So you hold N, or whatever you bound it to, and right click. So it was in lossless mode, now it's disabled. So if I use this on a machine, I might get a machine block back. If I hold N and right click, lossless mode enabled. So what that does is, it can use a lot more power, or sometimes almost the entire, all that it can store. So you have to use it, then recharge it, then use it, then recharge it if you want to move a bunch of machines around. But that ensures that you'll never get, your machines will never get broken when you move them. So that's a very valuable thing to know. What else? So these upgrades, I think this is actually a separate mod. It's advanced machines or something. So like it's the singularity compressor. So industrial craft just gives you a compressor, which goes at a constant speed, and you can put these overclocker upgrades into it to speed it up. But the singularity compressor is an upgrade from that. It ramps up over time, so it starts out slow, then gets faster and faster, and as you're compressing stuff, it speeds up much faster than you'll get a normal compressor without any overclocking, even with a lot of overclocking. But what I figured out is that you don't have to wait for these things to spin up. If you apply a redstone signal... Okay, I have my levers hidden, but there's a lever hidden back there behind that's powering this. So if you power this with redstone, it'll keep it spun up all the time. And when it's all the way charged, right? So if I put something into this right now, as you saw me do with snowballs earlier, it'll just go fast immediately, and it'll stay at its high speed. When it's all the way charged, it doesn't actually consume any EU. So once you build these things, a centrifuge extractor, singularity compressor, induction furnace, and rotary macerator. Induction furnace strangely doesn't take any upgrades like the others do. But yeah, you want to apply a redstone signal to them and have them spun up all the time. Oh, right, another important thing. Yeah, have them spun up all the time so that you'll get... they won't consume any EU when they're not running, and when you do want to run them, they'll immediately be fast. Now, another thing is the induction furnace. Since it can't accept any upgrades, you can't give it a transformer upgrade to make it able to accept high voltage. It'll actually accept medium voltage as it is. But if I hooked this directly up to the MFSU, it would explode. So I have high voltage wire going into an MV transformer down here, going into a gold cable that's... these two are painted different colors. If you paint a wire with... painter made of iron and wool, and then dye to pick your color. If you paint them different colors, they won't connect, because if I didn't paint these would just connect and it would explode. But yeah, anyway, so you can't upgrade the transformer, so you have to use medium voltage or lower for the induction furnace. Oh yeah, and that's interesting. Maybe the induction furnace does consume power because... Curious. Alright, I might have to figure this out a little bit more because I have a redstone signal applied to it. It's sharing the same MV transformer that's used by my rock crusher down here, but I have that disabled with this switch. So it's not getting any power, and it's cooled off entirely. But anyway, if this is all spun up, then yeah, it won't. I thought it wouldn't consume any power. Maybe the induction furnace is different from these. Anyway, I've rambled about that enough. So yeah, I've talked about a few mods that disable your disable normal crafting recipes and other game mechanics. There's an Ender storage mod that comes with Feed the Beast, which will disable placement of normal Ender chests. But if you change your configuration, I think in one version it disabled the crafting recipe, and another it disabled placement. Maybe it does both. I don't know. But if you change your configuration, you can place them again, because I didn't like that. I want to use my normal Ender chests. Anyway, have I missed anything? Ignore that. That's just I was trying to build a cave spider trap here, and those are always hard to build. Since I can move spawners around, I thought, okay, well I can put together the perfect setup that will work every time. And nope! Cave spiders are still very hard to manage. So I'm not going to talk about that, because it doesn't work properly. I think I have covered pretty much everything in great detail. I know I've rambled on for quite a long time about this, but oh man, this stuff's just so much fun. Yeah, I think I'll probably do a few additional videos on some of the aspects of these mods that I could not find good information about. So some things about Thaumcraft I haven't talked at all about. I think this is called an infusion altar. But yeah, the Thaumcraft really does not have a lot of good info about it, at least Thaumcraft 3. Most of the stuff I was finding was outdated, because I think an older version is available in Tekkit, but Feed the Beast uses a different one. I don't know how all that stuff works. Apparently there's some drama between the two groups that I don't get. But anyway, really hard to find information about that, so I may make some videos about that if it'll be helpful to people learning like I was trying to. Ooh, losing my voice a little bit. I've been talking for too long. Same for the beekeeping. Couldn't find good information about it, so I may go ahead and provide some. Yeah, and once things stabilize a little bit and we get a consistent set of mods that we think we'll use for a good while, maybe I'll do a Let's Play series from the beginning. Just start out in the world and probably have some sort of goal. Try to build up from nothing to some specific thing. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to play this a little more. Waking up videos are still coming. I will get to them shortly. But yeah, I'm going to play with this for a little bit longer. Anyway, I will stop rambling now and see you guys later.